I'm going to turn things over now to the wonderful Wendy Pease. Wendy is the CEO of Rapport International. Wendy's company does translation in, I don't know how many languages. She'll tell you how many. And works with companies all over the world. She gave a talk last year about how we could consider globalization for our companies, and that was really interesting. So if you want to go back in the archive and look at that or talk to her about that, she's a wealth of knowledge. But she wanted to talk today about these CRMs. She's got vast experience with both of them, and she's going to share what she knows. So Wendy, I am going to mute myself and turn it over to you.
All right, thanks so much. First, I want to check, can everybody hear me, and are you on the chat? So if you can, just type yes into the chat so I see that you're there and you can hear me. Okay, looks like we're going well. As I go along, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and I'll try to keep an eye on it. If not, you know, I'll revisit that at the end. I'll have Ellen read them to me if I missed any. And then I can take any questions. So here we are at the Throwdown, HubSpot Salesforce. And I can't advance my slides. Let me see what's going on here. It's frozen. Ah, here we go. Okay. So just a little, Ellen gave a great introduction about us. I just wanted to let you know where I come from. We provide foreign language translation and interpretation. So anything spoken or written going from one language to another, and we make sure it's culturally appropriate. High quality, we make sure the words are right. We make sure you avoid liability. So if you have any questions on that, you can certainly talk to me about that. I just wanted to give you some concept. We do business-to-business marketing, so the platforms, HubSpot and Salesforce, we've used for that. Okay, so truth and true confessions. We use Salesforce for about 7 years, and we've used HubSpot for about 1.5 years, so much longer experience with Salesforce. And if you're interested in either of the platforms, I just have a favor to ask. We get some credit and some gold stars if we refer you in. So my email is at the bottom of most of the slides. So if you could just email, even if you want to do that now, I can just register you if you're interested in or answer any more questions. I'd appreciate that. All right. Definitions, it's always good to just lay it out what we're talking about. A CRM is a customer relationship management. So this is where you put people in with their email, their phone number, and then you track what kind of activity you've had with everybody in there. So you don't have to rely on your memory, which is never going to work for all the people you need to reach out to make sales. Then there's also marketing platforms, which are like Constant Contact, and there's, you know, and HubSpot has one built in. Marketo is the one that works a lot with Salesforce, and that's doing your outreach. So how do you, you know, if you're doing a newsletter, if you're doing posts and planning on marketing outreach to get inbound sales. Sales enablement is things that you can make calls directly from your platform. You might be able to set up sequences so you get a reminder when you make a call, and then you've got an automatic email that follows up, and then you might, you know, have a note that tells you to go to LinkedIn. Service delivery gets onto the other side where, you know, how are you managing your customer experience? And then a CMS is the content management system where you can keep your assets. So if you have blogs, if you have ebooks, white papers, if you have videos, it can all be kept there. All right, so when I'm looking at the HubSpot and Salesforce with the CRM, I'm looking at, you know, these things, how easy it is to do all the things you'd expect from a CRM. Marketing, you want to know the tracking and how can you manage the information you're trying to go through. I also want to look at social. Can you track? Can you post easily? Can you track? And for any selling that you're doing, how is that integrated all into your CRM? These are the categories that we're going to throw down over. So we've got ease of use and how easy is it to get onto the platforms, how specific can you make it to your company? If it doesn't do something, can it integrate with something else? And then, of course, price. So the first one, ease of use. Bam, HubSpot. We used Salesforce for years. And when we moved and put off looking at other systems because it is such a pain in the butt to move over. HubSpot like sings and dances. As soon as I got on this, the only other platform that I liked immediately so much when I got on it was Amazon. So I definitely give ease of use to HubSpot. Next one, boom, learning and training. HubSpot. You can go on to their website for free, but don't do it until you send me an email and then I send you a link to this. They have a whole academy that can educate you on inbound and what are best practices and how to use video in your sales cycle and how to, it's everything. They've got hundreds and hundreds, and they've really coined the term inbound marketing. And then they have an onboarding system that takes you through week by week and tells you how to do it and gives you good ideas and looks at your website. We got none of that with Salesforce. We got a lot of attention through the sales process. We signed up and then it was learn on your own. Support, HubSpot wins again. They have a little icon down on the bottom of the CRM, and you can chat with somebody, you can call. We've got a designated representative that we can work with. Their resource list where you can search for anything is fantastic. So anytime we want to figure something out, we'll be able to go in. And I tell you, the people that work for HubSpot are very outward facing. So if you talk to somebody, they're trying to help you or connect you to somebody else. Salesforce, I just couldn't get through to customer service. So I never was able to develop it to do what I wanted to do. Customization. Okay, now this is where Salesforce wins. And this is probably why they're used and liked by a lot of the enterprise clients. And Salesforce is, or HubSpot is trying to be accessible to more enterprise. But if you've got a large company, large sales force, and you've got internal programs that you really want to integrate or run special reports, Salesforce has a lot easier ways to customize. The key is you need a technology person that really can do that for you. So they win on customization, but for a small business owner, I want something that's plug and play. I don't want to have to pay a tech person to customize for me. Integration. Any of the integrations that I looked at, like when I looked to get a marketing platform with Salesforce, Marketo was very expensive and it was difficult to learn how to use. Constant Contact didn't integrate, so that meant we downloaded everything from Salesforce and had to upload it into Constant Contact, and therefore we were running two databases, so nothing ever felt clean. HubSpot has everything all integrated with it, and if you want to do something like right now, I want to be able to send video email messages. So I can go to Vidyard that automatically has an integration with it. So there's a bunch of things that they've really figured out how to integrate. Like 7 Cents, which is a program that tells you when people check emails, so your email campaign can go to them at that hour. There's a lot of additional analytics things that you can do. You can integrate your phones. If you have a voice over IP, you can integrate. And if the program doesn't automatically integrate with it, then they've got something called Zapier, which is a really easy program to plug in, and then you can make the two programs talk and it can integrate.
Hey, Wendy, are you able to see
yes.
the chat? There's a question from Lindsay.
No, can you read it to me? I closed the chat when I was having trouble sharing. So,
okay. Yeah, she says, Wendy, do you know about integration with Klaviyo or MailChimp for these two CRMs?
Okay, so for HubSpot, you wouldn't need an integration because if you use the free CRM from HubSpot, I don't know about the integration from MailChimp because the marketing platform from HubSpot is what you'd use to do your outreach. And I'm not familiar with Klaviyo and Salesforce. As far as when we left Salesforce about 1.5 years ago, they didn't have any integration with MailChimp.
Wendy, what about QuickBooks?
I've heard there is an integration with HubSpot for online QuickBooks, not the desktop. I haven't done that because we have a bookkeeping firm that takes care of it, and I haven't done it. But I can check on that, Scott, and let you know. I'm just writing that down. Actually, you know what? Why don't you send me an email, and then I'll know to get back to you on that. Onboarding. Oh my gosh, HubSpot was fabulous with our onboarding. We had weekly calls for about 7 or 8 weeks, and they really tried to change the way we were thinking about some of the things, and it made it so seamless. So we had a consistent person that was like our teacher going on. We did have to pay a little bit more from that, but I never felt like we were struggling or not accessing the information that we needed, so it really helped. And I do have a marketing person that works about 30 hours a week, and she's pretty good with technology, and she's in there doing everything, and doesn't have any trouble figuring anything out. And I can go in and I can see exactly what she's doing, and I can do stuff on my own, but I do have her doing it. Okay, price is a really difficult one. So I put a big question mark on there because we're going to spend some time talking about this. If you look at the price straight off, just the CRM, HubSpot would be cheaper because you can get their free CRM. It's, you know, they offer that out there because what they really want you to do is come on and use their platform. We never used the CRM because we were so tired of trying to make everything work together. We went straight to the platform. Salesforce was about $75 per month per user. And I only had one user, but there was about 3 or 4 of us that were using it, and everybody was logging in under my name. Lindsay, I see your question. What do I mean versus CRM versus platform? So the CRM is where you go in and you keep the names and the emails and your contacts with them. The platform was the marketing platform where you can do a lot more. And I'm going to go into detail about that, about what the platform actually does for us. So if you just want something where you can keep you know, the copies of emails that you send out to people, you want to put notes in there when you talk to them, it's free for HubSpot. It's about $75 per month per user in Salesforce. You know, now that I look at that, I'm trying to figure out if Salesforce, what additional would you get over the HubSpot CRM, and I don't know. But the disadvantage we found is on the billing per user. I couldn't tell who was doing anything. So when I went over to HubSpot, they charge you on the marketing platform based on the number of contacts. So when we were using Salesforce, we had $75 per month per user. We had constant contact, which was about $100 per month. We had the wasted time for trying to do Google Analytics, which was never clean and figuring out, and it took somebody going in to pull the numbers down that we actually wanted. We had the time of moving the data from Salesforce to Constant Contact. We couldn't categorize people into groups. Like if we wanted to send an email out to just all the 10KSP people listed in our database, we couldn't send it out from anywhere. We had efficiencies, our reporting wasn't clear, data cleansing was a nightmare, and there was less functionality. And so what we decided was, well, let's get an agency in because we're only getting in about 2 leads per month and we want to ramp that up. Well, we started paying them $1,000 to $1,200 a month. So the fully loaded cost with what we wanted to do was about $1,375. This was really interesting for me to go through this. With HubSpot, it looked really expensive because we were paying for Salesforce and Constant Contact and not adding in all the other costs. And they were going to be about, we pay about $1,200 a month, but we could have unlimited users. So if somebody went in and did something with a client, I could see that Lisa sent an email to this person, and then I followed up with an email on it. And then, I could see that they downloaded something. So if, oh, Terry, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. I saw she asked a question. You can see it on the chat.
And Wendy, Scott says, are you going to let us have these slides afterwards?
Sure. Yeah, you can have the slides, and then you also have the recorded presentation from Ellen's Facebook group.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's get into, so on my Throwdown, HubSpot came out ahead. I mean, I am a huge raving fan of HubSpot. So if you want a demo, email me, and before you even go on it, let me get you registered, and I will show you, I'll bring you right into ours, and I'll show you how we do it. But I wanted to walk you through some of the things that I really love about it. Okay, so here is somebody we all know, Ellen, and she is in our HubSpot database, and I can go in and look at her, and I can see that her most recent visit to our website was last May. And she's had 3 times where she's been on our site, and she's viewed 5 pages. And she hasn't downloaded anything, or assets, so white paper, ebook, video. So she hasn't gone on and downloaded anything. What I can also see is that we're working on a project for Constant Contact together. We're doing the translation, and she's doing the storyboarding of some videos for them. If there is any emails about that project, she is right on it. She answers them immediately. She rarely, if ever, opens up our language tidbits, which are little information things. It's like our newsletter that we send out. And if I send her a general email about something to follow up on, she may open it 3 or 4 times before she responds. I can see her patterns of what she's doing. We also track deals, so there's one deal, that as opposed to lost, and then it shows the dollar amount, the close date, and who the deal owner is, who's working on it in our. Rick, that's a good question. Which web pages she's viewed? I'd have to think that through. Send me an email and I'll let you know on that. Because we can see how many people have viewed a website. I can't remember. I'll have to look at that. Okay, now about her company. There's a little section that comes up to the left of her contact information that gives me about the company. It shows the URL, the industry she's in, it shows her revenue. I didn't list it here because she is a private company. I have no idea where they pull it up, but it shows me. It shows me the LinkedIn company page and the description. So all of that automatically loads, and I have that. And it makes it easy for me to click over to LinkedIn if I want to learn more about the company. Okay, so this is the marketing platform that does not come with the CRM. So this is when you start paying for it. The marketing campaigns are like using Constant Contact or MailChimp. And so I can go right in and set up a campaign if I want to by a segmented list or by a certain industry group. And it's so much easier to use than Constant Contact, and there's some natural design things that are in there. And then say I go to a conference and I bring back a bunch of cards and I want a series of 5 emails to go out to the people like every 2 weeks. You can develop a workflow. So it's automated email, and you can set in the workflow if anybody responds to you, then the workflow would stop and you can automatically start responding to them. Excuse me just a minute. Then on managing your website, you don't have to build your website in HubSpot to use the Marketing Hub. Now, I avoided HubSpot for a long time because I didn't want to put my website in there, so we had it on WordPress. But if we wanted to do blogs or landing pages, you'd have to, it was another program you had to go find, you had to load it up, you had to look at it. Right through HubSpot, we can do blogs and landing pages. Now, we are in the process of moving our website into it because, like I said, I'm a huge raving fan of HubSpot and what it's enabled us to do with marketing. And so if I go in and I want to build a landing page, so I don't have to know WordPress, I don't need to ask my web developer, I can build a landing page right in HubSpot, and then it'll show the metrics of how many people are visiting. So you can get a feel for which ones are working. And right from there, you can share it on social media. And again, I can't stress how easy this is to do. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention multilingual capabilities. So HubSpot is now international. They've got multilingual capabilities, and we partner with HubSpot agencies when they want to expand capacity, do lead generation for their clients in other languages. Then we can work right in the HubSpot platform and put it in other languages. All right, and not only do they let you do all this implementation and really easy and teach you and have videos on how to do everything, they help you with the planning and strategy. So this is the part of the person that helps you onboard thinking about it. So this is their spoke or something, I forget what they call it, but you can see in the middle of it that it says website translation services, so that's the topic. And what we want to build is the ultimate guide to website translation. So ultimately, that's going to be our ebook, which will be an asset, which we'll build a landing page for. So if somebody wants the ultimate guide, they can go there, give us their email address and their name and their company, and then they can download it. Well, for me to think about sitting down and writing an ebook, it's not going to get done with everything else I have to do. But we have to blog on a regular basis to help with the SEO for our company. So what we do is on these little spokes coming out, they're all blogs. So, we've got one, how to translate a website and the benefits of translating your web pages and the 10 best web translation companies. So what we do is we do a blog on all those and then pull all the blogs together after 6 months or 8 months or something, and then we can pull them together and make an ebook out of it, which is now a downloadable asset. So you're repurposing your material all the time. So the formula is write a blog. When you've got 3 or 4 blogs, put them together for a white paper. And when you've got 3 or 4 white papers, you put them together for an ebook. And having this in there, we can go in and do a strategy session and put in all the blogs that we're going to do. Okay, so assets. This is the lingo for all the copy and the content and everything you put on your website or send out to people. And the first is the CTAs. These are call to action. So every time you send out an email or put a blog or put a landing page, you want to have a call to action to incite action of them engaging with you. And these buttons over here on the left, are ones that my marketing person could create right in here. So you don't need your web developer or your technical person to go in with the code and create them. They've got already options in there, like a PowerPoint slide that you can just pick them up and put the words in there and then create them. So again, really easy to do a call for action to pop in anything that you want to do. Yes, Linda, I love repurposing content because it takes a lot less time. You keep your keywords circulating and you're keeping a message that's going out over and over again. They have a place where you can do templates. So you know how many times do you send out an email that's about us, and you either have to go back into an email you already sent, you have to copy it, and then you have to personalize it, and then you've got to put any links in that you want to do. It just takes time. Well, in my email, in my HubSpot, I have templates in there. So if I want to send the About Us email, I just click on Template, About Us. It comes in and it populates in the database. And this is part of the paid version for the marketing platform. And it'll automatically put the first person's name in there. And it has the links already loaded, so I can edit it easily if there's something else that I wanted to put in. But I've got the template right there. So it's taken, where it used to take like 2 minutes to find the email and put the stuff in and make sure, I can send that off in like 10 seconds. And so I have multiple templates in there. So for my follow-up, I can do that. Files, you can keep documents in there. So say you're always sending a copy of your capabilities statement, or you're always sending a white paper on best practices. You can keep them in there so you can drag them and drop and not have to go to your service for finding it. And then they've got forms and pop-up forms that are easy to use. And here's the link to my calendar. I mean, you guys have all seen those. You're starting to get them now where somebody can just schedule with you. That's part of HubSpot. So I have a little calendar thing and I put it in, and it's pretty cool because clients that I'll send an email out and I want to get on my calendar, I don't have to go back and forth and back and forth. All of a sudden I'll get an email that says so-and-so scheduled an appointment with you. And I have one today with somebody who's got a potential project for us. Cynthia wants to know if you can build an online course like Kajabi. I don't think so. But you might be able to integrate it. I'm assuming that you want to build an online course that you could then send to your clients. And I don't think you can. I think that's out, but there might be something you could integrate in. But you could certainly take the online course and add it in as an asset and then do a marketing campaign around it. Okay, social posting. Oh my God, this is when I fell in love with HubSpot. I just go to marketing, social, and it brings me to this page. And up on the top right-hand side, it says create a social post. It brings up an empty box that I can fill in. I click in that I want to do a LinkedIn post. I type my LinkedIn post. I put my, whatever I want to go in there. And then I pick the date and the time that I want it to go out. And then I can duplicate it in Facebook and duplicate it in Twitter. Now, usually I have to shorten the Twitter one because, they're more limited on characters. But they all are scheduled. So as you can see over on the left-hand side, I have 63 scheduled to go out. We're scheduled out through March with social posts to go out something every day. I do Monday and Wednesday. My marketing person does Tuesday and Thursday, and then our tidbits go out on the Friday one. So now I've got something going out on LinkedIn and Facebook all the time. All right, I got a couple questions. Lindsay's asking a question to everybody. And then Joellen is asking a question, who owns all the data that you are entering, and what is the liability if something gets hacked? Does your cyber insurance cover that issue? What is HubSpot's backup plan if they go down? Email me on that and I'll give you more information because I don't know off the top of my head, but I remember looking into it and what was the liability. And also I was afraid that if I moved my website off of WordPress into HubSpot, I'd lose all the online connections or Google Halo that I had created. And in looking into it, I was like, the return that I'm going to get is so much better. And HubSpot does have a very good backup plan, and it's never down. Yeah, so follow up with me on that. All right, why am I frozen again? Huh. I'm frozen, Ellen. What do I do? Oh, here we go. Okay. Guess it just had to take a nap. All right, the sales platform. I didn't sign up for this at first because, you know, we're a year and a half into it. I'm the only one selling. Lisa's the only one marketing. So we've got all the account-based marketing going on because there's only 2 people. But I'm starting to want, like, HubSpot had so much for me to learn and access and do and increase what we were doing on the marketing side that I wasn't even interested in this. But now I'm taking a sales course through HubSpot, and there's some things that I want. So for example, I can plug my headset in. When I have the sales platform, I could plug my headset in and I could click direct dial. It's going to dial the prospect or the client that I want to call. I don't have to enter it in on my phone number, or I don't have to, you know, on my desktop. And then it will also log that I made a phone call. So as I'm envisioning out, someday I want to hire a sales force, I'll really be able to track their activity. So not only does it save time as I'm going to look at it, but it also tracks all the activity that you're going in without having to do anything. That it expands the number of documents that you can keep in there. So we're going to put assets in there and the stuff I frequently send out, because the sales is now all about providing additional information. It's not, you know, hey, calling to follow up with you. Hey, calling to see how I can help you. It's all, hey, I read this and I thought you'd be interested in, or we have these statistics on marketing or on the industry. They also have a playbook that you can write down every step of your selling process. So as you're trying to think of something new or come up with, you can just follow the playbook. I haven't used that yet. It's something I'm going to get into over the next year. And then sequences are more built for the individual. So with the marketing flows, that's one to many. The sequences are one to one. So say I connect with somebody on LinkedIn today and I think they're a good prospect, I can put a sequence in that says, send them a video email, send them our ebook, send them a request to schedule, send them, you know, and then give them a call. And it'll come up in my task reminders every time I need to do something, so you stay in front of the contact. So I'm very excited. We'll be starting this month. Oh, metrics. No more Google Analytics. I don't know about you, but when I go in there, I'm just overwhelmed. It's not easy to use. They're throwing so much at me. So then I got my marketing person to streamline it so she could give me measurable numbers that, I could lock a hold of. Look at it. I can go into traffic analytics and website contacts. I can go into any more analysis than I'm even doing. But at the bottom of their analytics tool, this is something that I really like. See where it says prospects? I put the big arrow there to point it out. If you click on that, it brings you to a screen like this. So I can see that somebody from SAP, that domain, came in and they viewed one page, and one visitor came in. And so this is actually a lead list for me. That I can go in and the check mark, so you see SAP and preview, I can go in and I can look at them. The check mark means somebody from SAP is already in the database, and I can tell how much activity there is. So CIC, I can see that they viewed 14 pages. So this is somebody who's really interested in, and I have a split screen, so there's kind of duplicate information on the left and right. But if you jump over a little bit more, I can see that 6 people from CIC went in. So I'm starting to use this as my company lead. Like SAP is huge. I don't know who I'd call in there. CIC is smaller. So our target would be the head of marketing. So I now have a company that could be shopping for translation services. And then I can think about who might be the appropriate contact for there. So that's been really helpful, because that's how you can figure out who's actually looking for you. Their onboarding, training, and support, I talked about this earlier, was absolutely fantastic. Everything's clean and easy to figure out. If they don't know, they're good at getting back. And we try to push some of the things with the language capabilities that we want. And so we've really connected them with the people that that can help us, and they're very customer focused. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention is they have HubSpot user groups. They call them hugs. And so if you're part of, if you use HubSpot, I don't think you have to be a HubSpot user to go, but you can go and meet other people. And it's kind of this, everybody's so passionate about it and they're learning it. There's a Facebook group that I go on and I can ask for hints. The people that are doing the e-commerce and using 3D Cart and Shopify, there is an agency that really specializes with HubSpot in that area. So if you email me, I can also connect you with them. And they've got good suggestions on how you could leverage the two platforms to, those platforms together. So integrations, the ones from HubSpot, I touched on this before, that are supported are, and this is the irony of it, is Salesforce is supported. So if you have a company that's already using Salesforce, but the marketing team decides that they want to use HubSpot, they actually have a built-in connection. And all the, Zapier is the one that will connect you with all the other ones that aren't supported. Eventbrite, we've organized some events. We put together a landing page. We put the Eventbrite link right on there. And so people could sign up. And when they signed up, it automatically comes into our CRM and shows us that they've registered for that event. So it's a really nice way. And I think we collected $10 or something for the events. And we could manage that all through Eventbrite. Vidyard is the one that I mentioned about the video email. This is the new in thing with HubSpot. They're on leading edge of inbound marketing and selling. And so they're always giving you good ideas to try. Vidyard is one that you can just record a video email and send it off to people. You can show them how to use something. So I could go in there, show you how I'm actually using my HubSpot, put it into an email, and share that and keep it in my CRM. Okay, and this is the stuff we don't even use yet. Chat flows. So they have a chat bot that you can do, activity flows, snippets. Oh, if you're doing ads on social media, you can do it right from HubSpot and get the metrics. The website platform, like I said, we're doing that right now. And then the service hub. So we don't run our customer service through this. I don't know if we'll grow into it or not, but that's sometime down the future. I'm just looking for any questions. I think I'll hold them till the end. Oh, we froze again. Oh, the features that are on the screen now, these are native, and there's a service hub. Okay, so some of these are marketing platform. Okay, the website is a different platform. The service hub is a different platform. Ads come with the marketing platform. And chat flows, activity flows, and snippets, I'm pretty sure I'll come with the marketing platform, because the only thing we'd have to pay for more is the website and the service. I don't know what snippets are. That's why I don't use them, Cynthia. But I know they're out there, and I could go watch a video and I could learn from it. And if it's really important, I'll learn about it in my sales class. If anybody else knows, then put it in the chat group. Okay, here is, there was also a write-up, so an official comparison where he tried to look at the technology. So you can go to that website. And then the HubSpot Academy, this is the link to that, which I'll also email you. that just tons of stuff about marketing, best practices, and whether you use HubSpot or not, it gives some good ideas. Okay, so I heard Ellen go off mute, I thought, so I'm coming to the end of the time, and I wanted to leave some time for questions. And Ellen, did I miss any questions on the chat?
I don't think so. I came off mute because I was going to share a question with you, but you caught it. So I don't think so. I think that was great. Does anybody have questions?
I have a question for you, Wendy. This is Nikki Jones.
Hi, Nikki.
How are you?
Good, good.
So I do use HubSpot. I use the HubSpot sales version. As we're a marketing agency, everything else we kind of do in the ad agency part of this. But what I find is when I'm putting my contacts into the sales version, it's hard for me to separate them out. And then I have to remember the name of the person and to go back and search for them to find out when was the last time that I got in contact with them. I think this is like HubSpot's relatively new, so I am finding my way through some of the segments of this. But if there was an easier way to segregate out clients, I don't know what that would look like, but I just wondered whether you had that experience or whether you had an easy way around it.
Yes, so are you familiar with tasks?
Not yet. I haven't done tasks, although I did do the chatbot.
Ah, good. Okay, so tasks are fabulous. If you go into sales and you drop down, you'll see tasks. And that would pull up everybody you're supposed to follow up with. So when you're in a contact record, you say, create a task, and then you can set the date, when you want to get an email reminder, and then you put in what you want to do. And then you can sort by what's due today, what's due this week, or you can look at all your tasks.
Okay.
Now, tasks 201, I just got overwhelmed with tasks and what I was doing. And some are higher priority. Like if somebody says, we're going to buy translation in February and follow up with me February 15th, that's a task I don't want to drop. Whereas if I've got a, softer lead that says, yeah, we may think about it next year, that's not, I don't have to get back to them on February 15th. So over on the left-hand side, there's something called queues. And I've created a priority queue, Queue, that I go into every day to see, is there a priority task that I need to follow up with? So,
okay. I'll have to go and investigate these two parts.
Yes, and email me or call me if you have any questions on it.
Yeah, and follow up with me actually, because I have a client for you that's looking for translation services.
Okay.
I sent you a message in the Slack. Oh, sorry, in the chat.
Oh, okay. Can you actually email me? Yeah. Can you email me in case the chat goes away when we're done?
Yeah, let me just write down your email address.
Okay, it's right there. Okay, so Deb, you've asked how many hours are dedicated to getting on board. So much to learn for one person doing sales, marketing, and everything else. Okay, yes, it's the old, how much you put into it, you get out of it. But what they're going to do is they're going to put you on a 6-week schedule of, a 6 or 8, I can't remember, where you have an hour call each week, and they'll give you homework to do and practice with to try to get on. Now, for me, we were paying for it that, month or two that we were onboarding, and so we were trying to get up to speed as quickly as possible, and we were already using Salesforce. So my marketing person did do a lot of data cleaning, and so when it uploaded, I immediately went on it. And really quickly, you could learn how to use it for the selling side of it. And then on the marketing side of it, you can, you'll learn what you want to do. So I think if you spent, it depends on what you want to get out of it. It depends on your goals. So it's really hard to answer that. I don't know everything that you're doing, but it will minimize the time that you have to spend doing all that. Okay, so Terry, Are there cheaper options than HubSpot that have similar features? Looking into Active Campaign, I don't know. I know I put off going to HubSpot for years because it was too expensive. And now that I'm there, I'm seeing that the potential for my business to grow from this is huge, but you have to make the decision. But you could start with the CRM, and go from there. Terry, the marketing platform for HubSpot is about $1,200 a month I have about 10,000, 9,000 contacts. But I think you can get it for $400 a month if you have a lot fewer contacts. And I forget who it was that was using 3D Cart. You had a ton of contacts, so that would be something to talk to them about, because I don't know when they start considering you enterprise and how that links up with e-commerce, because you typically are going to have more. Yeah, okay, Bill, you have 50,000 contacts. So send me an email and I'll connect you to the people that could figure that out. Right, and Joellen is saying any software is only as good as what you enter and how you use it, which is true. And we've made a conscious decision to do it, but my job is marketing and sales. I've gotten out of operations because this is where I want to be. But you don't, somebody doesn't have to be a real, like if you're going to go out and hire somebody to build your website, they really need to know technology. If you're getting a marketing person in that has good writing skills and can think logically about what do I want to write and send out, you could get somebody in here that could create marketing campaigns. Those were all the questions I saw. Did I miss any?
I'm pretty sure you got them all, Wendy. That was a great presentation.
So in the Throwdown, HubSpot wins in my book. Woohoo!
Super awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, any questions? Looks like Nikki's on the phone, but if you do have any questions on tasks, feel free to follow up. And I'll go in right now and register you as referrals. So we'll get credit.
Okay.
And I appreciate that because I like gold stars. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate hearing that.
It's really great. Thank you, Wendy. I'll put